All right, joining us today is a good friend of the show. This man is a man who has elite ball knowledge of the entire landscape of college football, the host of Crane and Company that airs 3 p.m. Eastern daily on YouTube. Our good buddy and a man of the people, Jake Crane. Welcome in.
What is up, boys? Yeah, I always say I only know four things, and they all start with F. So football happens to be one of them. But no, I appreciate y'all having me and enjoying y'all's content, man. Y'all doing a really good job.
All right, I'm going to try one more, see if you like this one.
All right,
I'm going to
I
go
hate it.
you
I hate it
I'm,
already. Actually, no,
I'm going to go Utah over seven
yeah,
and a half. I'm tempted just to say Kyle Whittingham
seven and a
and be
half.
done with
Wait,
it.
you taught 7.5?
Yeah,
Seven and a
man.
half.
Oh God, put the 401k on that one. Anyway, go ahead.
And by the way, real quick, Tyler, before you jump in here, this was one that I'm also all in on as well, Jake. I'm with him. But Tyler and I are both big fans of Kyle Whittingham in Utah, so I'm also in on this as well, over 7.5 with the Utes.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm tempted just to say Kyle Whittingham and just be done with it. That's my analysis. But I mean, you mentioned Devin Dampier. You know, Morgan Scalley is gonna have that defense right, like he always does. I mean, you got to think surely their rash of injuries at the quarterback position and offensive side of the ball over the past 2 years, surely that's going to be over. Another storyline you could look at is, hey, is this Kyle Whittingham's last dance? Like he's talked about retiring and going out from Utah, for a couple years. They've already named Scalley the head coach in waiting there. So you just never know when this is going to be. I don't think he's the type of guy that's going to do some sort of retirement tour, but he's just this. They may some guys may know this is his last year. Maybe he goes out with a bang. I love the fact that Dampier is joined by his offensive coordinator. Everybody's talking about John Mateer. We are, you guys
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
and he's got Ben Arbuckle coming with him, right? Nobody's
yeah.
talking about Jason Beck coming from New Mex with Devin Dampier and how much that's going to help him in the new look Big 12. So he's a guy that's just incredibly elusive. That offensive line already has 5 starters coming back. They have all 10 from their 2 deep coming back. So it's not like they need a bunch of help with guys like Spencer Fano up front, but elusiveness with Dampier is going to. I mean, I'd be shocked if they weren't in top 10 in sacks given up at the end of the year. Like this guy ran for nearly 1,200 yards last year. Yeah, he needs to cut down on the turnovers. He's a little careless with the ball. 12 interceptions, 7 fumbles. I think he can do it though under the right tutelage, but it would be nice for them to get that W right out of the gate at UCLA against Nico. That's one of the bets I've already placed. I got him when it was -1.5 Utah. Now it's -6.5 on the road at UCLA. I feel really solid about that. That probably means the Bruins are going to win. So that's great.
Well,
But you got Cal Poly, you got Wyoming. Those are W's. Rice Eccles Stadium is when the Utes are on, when the Utes
oh
are
yeah, yeah,
rolling,
yeah.
that is a tough, tough place to play. Colorado and Cincy coming to there. Those should be W's. That's 5 wins, right? That we're counting. Texas
Mhm.
Tech, Arizona State, K-State all come to Salt Lake City. You go
Yep.
2 and 1 of those games, that's 7 wins right there, meaning you need to get one on the road at either West Virginia, like you said, with Rich Rod, BYU, you don't know what's going on with Retzlaff and how they're going to replace him, Baylor and Kansas. So I think they get at least one of those, and that gets you to that 8 wins. But I mean, with this Utah team, like if Dampier hits, like a lot of people think he could, like this could be the team that runs away with the Big
Yeah.
12 and heads to the college football playoff.
Without a doubt, it's almost one of those things where I look at 7.5, and that scares me. Actually, like, what do y'all know that I don't know? Because Vegas doesn't
Mhm.
make a lot of mistakes when they
Yeah.
put those two twins in that underground tunnel, put their hair together, and figure out what's going to happen. But when I look at the schedule too, you brought up Cal Poly, you brought up, I got a lot of respect for Wyoming and the way they
Yeah.
play. I know that's a very elevated stadium, but Utah isn't exactly at sea level, I don't think. So I'm not as worried about that. But I think what Kyle Whittingham and the quarterback injuries is a Cam Rising thing, right? That's the common denominator here. Again, I wasn't a math major, but I do know what a common denominator is. I think this is going to be back to those physical Utah teams. That's what elevated them in the Pac-12. It's why they were winning Pac-12 titles. It wasn't because they had the best skill players all around, because they were the most physical up front, and they always have some exciting white running around the back end on defense that can make plays as well. But I think they're better than UCLA. I think you've got a good chance to start out 3-0, and then you get a Texas Tech team. And a lot of this is understanding, you know, where it is on the schedule, when you play them, what they have coming next. Because you look at Texas Tech, with their schedule, which I know we haven't gone through yet. This is their first road game of the year. Officially. You start out with Arkansas Pine Bluff, you get Kent State, then you get Oregon State at home. This is your first road game of the year, and Morton's health does concern me. When he's healthy, he's Voldemorton's what I call him, but again, he's got to stay healthy. But when I look at the physicality of this Utah team, I think that's what sets them apart. They're going to get back to that. I think they've got as good a chance as anybody to win the Big 12. I love the way the schedule sets up. You talked about getting your tougher ones at home with K-State, with Arizona State, and with Texas Tech. That's huge. But then again, you look at Retzlaff leaving BYU and what that leaves what we thought would be possibly your toughest road game. Then you go to Baylor and then you go to Kansas. You have an equal roster or better than them, and West Virginia as well on the road. I love Utah over 7.5. I think that's probably the best bet in the Big 12. But the fact that that's there scares me because they didn't just pull that out of a hat.